We will now begin questioning, and I recognize myself for 5 minutes. Chairman Carr, for the United States to maintain its leadership in wireless innovation, we need to make both licensed and unlicensed spectrum available for commercial use. Can you tell us why a balanced spectrum policy is so important?
Yeah, U.S. leadership in wireless is part and parcel of our geopolitical leadership. We need the full toolkit out there, both licensed and unlicensed. In fact, on the unlicensed side, we're going to be voting at the FCC later this month to supercharge Wi-Fi. So Americans get better, faster, more powerful Wi-Fi. I think it's a great complement to the other work that we're already doing on the licensed side.
Appreciate that. Commissioner Trusty, do you have anything to add to that?
Sure. Thank you for the question, and thank you for your leadership on spectrum policy. I've been a proponent of an all-of-the-above approach to spectrum policy, where we can accommodate a variety of users, use cases, and technologies. Our immediate priority is the AWS-3 spectrum auction that'll start in June, and we're also working on rules for the upper C-band auction, which will create opportunities for licensed spectrum. But we also need more spectrum for unlicensed uses, so to support Wi-Fi and IoT-based applications. And we need spectrum for satellite connectivity and space-based applications. So I think that having licensed, unlicensed satellite spectrum is important for promoting innovation, investment, and competition, and strengthening U.S. leadership in next-generation technologies.
I agree. Chairman Carr, the White House recently released a presidential memorandum on 6G. How does this action affect your collaboration with NTIA on identifying additional bands for auction?
Well, thanks again to the work of you and this committee and President Trump. We now have a real concrete spectrum pipeline, 800 megahertz. And as part of that, we are collaborating very closely with NTIA, with Commerce, with the White House to make sure we're identifying the right target bands, studying them, and staying on track. And so that's a really good thing. Again, we, as a country, were behind a little bit on 3G, but we caught up on 4G, we caught up on 5G, and now President Trump is making sure that the U.S. leads the way on next-generation technology, too.
Great. Chairman Carr, as I mentioned in my opening statement, I'm part of the bipartisan, bicameral Universal Service Fund working group that's trying to implement long-term reforms to ensure sustainability for USF into the future. How does the USF ensure that broadband remains affordable for all Americans?
The Universal Service Fund has played a key role over the years ensuring connectivity for Americans all across the country. We're doing work right now, including making sure that we're ending any unlawful expenditures that are taking place. We are policing better for waste, fraud, and abuse in these programs. We are going to work collaboratively with the bipartisan, bicameral task force that you talked about. And more generally on affordable, we are making some really good progress there. Again, just recent data out, wireless cell phone plans are down 4% since January 2025 alone. They're down over 7% from Biden-era highs. Right when we came into office, we ended a Biden-era plan that could have spiked the price of internet services for Americans living in apartment buildings by, at least one study, up to 50%. So there's a lot more work to go, but I'm glad that we're heading in the right direction.
Great. What reform ideas should Congress consider, particularly on the distribution side, as we evaluate the future of the USF?
Well, one thing that's important I think Congress is focusing on, should focus on, is technology neutrality. You know, we want high-speed fiber connections in so many parts of the country, but there's other places where you're going to have fixed wireless or a new generation of low Earth orbit satellite or 5G or 6G. So we want to do this in a way that makes sure that Americans get the connectivity they expect and deserve, but we do it in the most efficient way possible.
I agree. So public safety communications, also a top priority of mine, includes everything from upgrading our 911 systems to NG 911 to ensuring that we quickly restore communications following a disaster. Again, I appreciate your visit to Western North Carolina and looking at this issue. What are your top priorities in improving our public safety communications?
Well, your call to 911 absolutely always has to go through. That's a system that we never want to see fail. And we're taking a lot of steps to harden that. We are working to collaborate across different industry segments, including power and utility and telecom crews, so that when you rush into a place like Western North Carolina after Helene, that we're making progress and not stepping on each other. So we're encouraging that, and we're taking other efforts to encourage this broader transition to all IP networks, which, again, can really strengthen the resilience and performance of the 911 and public safety system.
Great. I appreciate that. My time is getting very low, and I can't hold everybody else accountable if I go over, so I believe I'll stop